Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This video is going to talk about Rex Atmos once again, but this time we're going to go into a little bit more detail on just one page of Rex Atmos, which is the Atmos page, and perhaps I can take this video to help you guys understand how to set certain parameters so that you can have a better experience using it, an easier time of it, especially if you're interested in emulating visibility, because out of the box, MSFS sky condition is in 2024 is much better than 2020. The only missing piece, apart from the sky colors are fine for the most part. What's missing, I guess, is just the ability to have reasonable visibility values that are more representative of reality. Let me just help you guys set this up so that you don't have this feeling that you have to keep tweaking parameters till the end of day instead of flying a single flight. So let's jump right into it. So as you guys can tell, for those who've been around in the flight sim world for a while, and those who've lived in the Middle East can know that we are in Hamad International Airport in Doha, Qatar. So that's downtown Doha over there. We are sat right on top of runway 34 left at the end of the threshold here. And it's midday. I've set it to midday and live weather. Live weather pretty much shows visibility all the way up to the horizon, I don't know, 50, 60 kilometers. It's never usually the case. We have a lot of desert dust, a lot of pollutants in the air, and it never is this good, you know. Let's just use this as a demonstrator case and perhaps understand how to set visibilities. So just as a point of information, the distance from the end of 34 left to the end over there on 16 right is about 5 kilometers. So that's a good reference point for us. And those buildings in downtown Doha on the left-hand side that you see over there is approximately 10 kilometers away. So these are all going to be approximate because we're not going to fine-tune it to the 100. We're going to be approximate. Like if you want 10 kilometer visibility, we're good with a deviation of 1 or 2 kilometers, preferably on the higher side. Even if you're 12 kilometers visibility, you're going to be happy with it and you're going to set and forget and just fly and enjoy. So let's see how we get that. So in Rex Atmos, on the left-hand panel over here, the atmospheric simulation panel, I have left everything to default except for one parameter, guys, just one. The global scene illumination. The default is 128,000. Kind of makes the sky a little bit overexposed in my opinion. So I just reduced it down to 85,000, which seems like a really good point to be. 80 to 90,000 seems to be a good sweet spot. So don't worry about the number here. It doesn't have any units here, right? It doesn't mean much. Just see what you like, you know, and then set it there. For me, it's about 90,000. Maybe you like it higher, maybe you like it lower. So this doesn't matter. Let's just leave this entire left-hand pane alone. On the right-hand pane, the first thing you want to do is lock these two so that you can move the particle absorption and particle scattering together. Now, not both of them together, but rather the RGB values together for each of these settings. Because otherwise, if you unlock this, you're going to get really weird artifacts visually when you just move one slider at a time, and it makes the job unnecessarily hard. Now, how we're going to do this is the first thing you want to do to reduce visibility is to increase scattering. Now, let me just set a particular value here. As you can already see, just increasing this to about 30% of its maximum value reduced the visibility close to about 10 kilometers. Let me increase it a little bit more, where you can barely see those buildings. It's like, you know, setting it such that you can barely see the building. So you're barely 10 kilometers. As you can see, because the scattering value is high, the sun is not penetrating well enough all the way to the ground. So what you have to do to mitigate that is to, again, lock particle absorption RGB and increase this. And keep it around 70 to 75%, maybe up to 80% of what this scattering value is at. So if this is this much, just keep it about 80% of this value, like, you know, and that way, if you increase it all the way over here, it overexposes it. If you like it, especially at lower values of scattering, it looks fine to me, but I still keep it a little bit lower here so that it has that nice hazy look. And this absorption, I would recommend to be anywhere between 70 and 90%. Now, this is approximately 10 kilometers visibility, and you can see this value is 0.38. Now, if you want to make it 5 kilometers, such that you can only see up to the end of the runway, of the end of the runway 34 left, or just a little bit beyond that. So if it's 0.38, I'm going to go to 0.76. So it's about double. And as you can see, let me just get it to 0.76. So 0.77, 0.76, you can barely see the end of the runway. So this is approximately 5 kilometers visibility. You know, it's approximate, guys. Like, as I said earlier, have some variation, allow room for variation, and just enjoy flying. And now, let me probably increase this a little bit to, as I said, around 70 to 80% of this value. And trust me, guys, I've seen days like this before, and it looks exactly like this at midday. With 5 kilometers visibility, this is what the day looks like, you know. And if you want to go even lower visibility, you know what to do. Just increase the scattering and see what you can do with absorption to make the sky look less ridiculous, something more plausible. And as for particle distribution, this is a very fine-tuning parameter which you can use to determine how high the atmospheric particles distribute, so that the lower this value is, the faster you can get out of the haze layer. So let me keep this at the lowest value and then move up. As you can see, the haze over here, it starts clearing out pretty fast, and then you're out pretty soon. Okay, so if I keep my altitude constant, you can already see a little bit of downtown Doha there. Let me go up a little bit more, actually. Okay, I'm going to stay here. And now, the only thing that this determines, you know, if you leave it at the default value, it just makes it a little bit more opaque, you know. And this just makes the opacity go like more and more higher and higher, and it's just going to take you much longer to escape this haze layer to go back into the up and up into the clear blue skies that we all love. So in my recommendation, it's always going to be leave this at default. You don't need to fiddle with this too much, unless you're really training for IFR or marginal VFR, or getting into IFR with your general aviation training when flying in haze. But apart from that, you know, you're good. You can just leave this at default and just play with the scattering. So again, if you find this a little bit too difficult to do, or too many settings to play with, or it's too annoying, there's I'm gonna probably release some presets with values for like 3 kilometers, 6 kilometers, 10 kilometers visibility, so that you can just select, set and forget that and just fly. That's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. If you found it useful, please do like and subscribe. It would perhaps give me more motivation to make such videos. And before I leave, let me leave you with what MSFS looks like by default. There you go. Look at that. I can see the whole country of Qatar, all the way, probably even all the way up to Bahrain. So that looks, well, yeah. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.